What's up, Cowboys Nation? What's up, guys? Welcome to another live show. It is week 11 in the NFL, and we're back with our picks. Shout out to everyone in the chat. How y'all doing? How's your week going so far? We're in the middle of it. Halfway there, believe it or not. Week 11 in the NFL, the National Football League, and we have a pretty fun show here tonight as we go through week 11. And as we always do, we're going to go through our picks. Cowboy Noah in the chat. What's up, Noah? Welcome back. Blitz says, what's up, Tony? What's up, Blitz? Welcome. Good to see all of our regulars. Hope y'all are having a good Wednesday night. I'm having a pretty good night myself. How's your week going? How's your week? Good to see all of y'all. We're obviously going to go through the different picks. Noah says, I'm here. What's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see each and every one of you. Pre-game prediction video is going to be dropping later this week. Madden prediction, as always, is going to drop later this week. And looks a little bit different this week because the Cowboys are playing on Monday night. Monday Night Football, baby. First one of the year. Blitz says, good. How about your week? My week has been good. It's been really busy, though. Personal news, I'm starting a new job. So I'm transitioning from another job to another job. And it's different locations, all that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit busy right now on top of Cowboys season and all that. So it's pretty busy. And then a little bit about me. Joe, what's up, man? Welcome to the chat. Says, I'm feeling sick, but I'm still watching. What's up, Joe, man? Good to see you. I hope you feel better. The other thing, too, is I like making films. That's what I kind of do in my spare time, especially during the off season. So I made this short film, and we're towards the end stages of it. Like, it's pretty much cut, and now we're going to submit it into film festivals, and so I'm pretty excited about that this weekend. We got a lot of funding going into it. It's going to be fun. Luck Duck One says, just finished double shift, but made it here. Cowboy Noah says, I see the Texans helmet. Yes, Noah, that is out there for you, man. You keep me on top of it. I literally think, I'm like, I got to put it out there. But yes, Texans helmet is up there. Shout out to you, man. But let's go ahead and jump on in. Good to see every single one of you. Last week we did pretty good. Well, that's a lie. We were in the double digits for like a few weeks, but then we dropped down to 9-5, and I totally blame the Denver Broncos. Or should I be more mad that the Kansas City Chiefs made a deal with the devil, or that the Denver Broncos can't make a field goal? Because I chose the Broncos to upset the Chiefs, and they were so close to doing it. I mean, so close. How are the Chiefs still undefeated? Like, who did they make a deal with to make that a thing? It is insane how they are still undefeated. It's insane. I mean, it's just wild. What are they, 9-0 or something like that? Regardless, Thursday Night Football. And we got a good matchup here. I mean, this is for the top of the NFC East. Colt, what's up, man? Welcome to the chat. Good to see you, Colt. NFC East division. Winner takes first place in the division. You have the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders. I want to know how you guys think. Obviously, the Cowboys season is down the drain. So now within our division, we know who the two contenders are. And it's the Commanders and it's the Eagles. Let me know what you think about this matchup here. Because I think on one hand, the Eagles aren't really a good football team. I know I took a lot of crap in my post-game reaction video. Everyone's like, what? They're just not. They really aren't. You look at their games, how much they're struggling against inferior opponents. They have a lot of talent, and they can still figure it out, of course. But do I think they are? No. The Eagles are the same thing every single year. Loaded with talent. They win a lot of games, but they don't ever get over the hump. Colt says Eagles 25-19. Alex, what's up, Alex? Says Eagles. Blitz says Commanders. On the other hand, the Commanders are a young team, and I feel like they've had opportunities to prove themselves as a legitimate team, but they've fallen short. You know, they fell to the Baltimore Ravens. They lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So they've had opportunities, and they just haven't been able to get it done. Blitz says Eagles almost lost to the Jags. Exactly. Luck Duck 1 says Commanders, B-Rob is back, and Jaden is 100%. Joe says Commanders, I don't want to see the Eagles winning the division. I like the Commanders in this one. And I when I make my 60-second picks that will be posted tomorrow, I think I actually chose the Eagles. Well, actually, no, I'm going to flip back. I'm going to go back to Philly. I'm going to go back to Philly because this game is actually in Philadelphia. I think if it's in Washington, it's a little bit different. But prime time in Philadelphia, a little bit of a cold weather game. I know the Commanders are used to playing in the cold weather, but I'm going to go with the Commanders here. Tristan jumps in, says, what's up, man? What's up, man? Carlos says, my Mavs lost to the Suns again. Boy, that was a close one. Came down to the final second. Thank you for fouling Yusuf Nurkic. Alex says, Eagles are taking rest of the division. I really don't want to see the Eagles be successful. So I'm on board cheering for the Commanders. But I don't know. I don't think they win this one. Blitz says, Eagles are on a 5-game winning streak with 5 bad teams, including the Cowboys. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll go with the Eagles. I think the Eagles win this game. Going into Sunday, no international games. I think we're done for the season. I think Germany was the last international game. But we got another division showdown. We got the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. Man, the Bears, they have not looked the same since that Noah Brown last-second Hail Mary touchdown. I mean, that kind of broke them, which that kind of thing can ruin your season. That kind of thing can break your season, if we're being real, if we're being honest. I mean, the Packers broke the Cowboys, and we haven't been fixed since. So, even though this is in Chicago, I do expect Jordan Love to continue the trend and own the city of Chicago. Alex, Blitz, Joe, Colt are all going with the Packers. I mean, the Bears they got to figure it out, if they want to beat Green Bay, but I just don't think they do. Michael, what's up? Welcome to the chat. Blitz is going with the Cheeseheads. Michael says Bears are so inconsistent, so Green Bay. Joe says Bears are fraud. Luck Duck 1 says Packs. We're all on the same page here. Go Pack, go. Next up, we got the Jaguars and the Detroit Lions. This one's an easy pick. Early slate of games are always pretty one-sided at this point of the year. Detroit Lions, man, they're looking pretty good. Well, take that back because Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions. And, I mean, if you're the Houston Texans who, we're playing this week, how do you lose when they, how do you lose when you're able to pick off Jared Goff 5 times? That's embarrassing. That is very embarrassing. Joe's going with the Lions. Blitz is going with the Lions. Yep, Lions. So even though the Lions obviously threw 5 interceptions. Well, let's not say the Lions threw 5 interceptions. Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions. Michael says, Jags just throw the white flag. Joe says, Jared Goofball. Yeah, Lions win this one, and I think they would go to 9-1. Double check that record for me. Next up, we go to the Minnesota Vikings versus the Tennessee Titans. Vikings aren't as dominant as they were at the beginning of the year. I feel like people are starting to slowly figure out Sam Darnold. I think we saw Sam Darnold in a new system and a new offensive system, and that really allowed them. And they played a really consistent ball. Like, they were able to run the ball with Aaron Jones. They were able to throw it, and they just kind of gotten away from that. And their defense isn't playing as well as it used to be. But anyway, I think the Vikings win this one on the road. I know they struggled big time against the Jaguars, though. And that was mainly due to Sam Darnold. Alex says Vikings. Blitz says Vikings. Yeah, this is another one-sided one. I'm locking in the Vikings on this one, too. Next, Benintendi says Titans. Wow, we're going with an upset pick. But chat majority is going with the Vikings. Next one, as we get quick through these one-sided matchups, we got the Raiders and the Miami Dolphins. Watch out for the Dolphins. Let's have a conversation about the Dolphins. I think everyone's back. Everyone's getting healthy. And it doesn't matter how bad you play in September. I think if you can win games in November, December, you're obviously putting yourself in a really good position for a playoff push. And no doubt do the Dolphins have the talent that it takes. I like the Dolphins. I'm cheering on the Dolphins. Joe's going with the Dolphins. Blitz is going with the Raiders. Now, look, the Raiders, they're a sneaky pick. Like, they can fight tooth and nail with you, and they play their style of football. So, Blitz, I see you. I see you. Oscar, what's up? welcome to the live show. He says Dolphins and Fins up. Cowboy Noah says, what's the point spread for this game? Great question. Let's take a look at it. Dolphins and Raiders. That's a good question. I'm wondering, I wonder what this would be. I'm taking a look. The Dolphins are favored by 7 points. How about that? 7-point spread. 7-point spread? Yeah, 7-point spread. Michael says Dolphins. Yeah, Dolphins should win this one. They should pick up a back-to-back here, beat the Raiders. Next up, we got a Super Bowl rematch. We got the Los Angeles Rams and the New England Patriots. Let's take a look at this point spread because this is kind of like Rams are up by 4.5 points. This one could go either way. This really could go either way because the Patriots are sneaky, especially with Drake May in the picture now. And the Rams, I don't want to, their defense isn't all there. Their defense isn't trustworthy at the moment. Their offense can put up points, but that offensive line, man, I mean, it's letting anyone. I could get to Matthew Stafford. Alex is saying Rams. Joe's saying Rams. Yeah, I feel like the Rams, I don't know, guys. This is in New England, though. Like, if it was in Los Angeles at SoFi, I like the Rams. But can the Rams travel well to New England? Colt says Rams 26-24, close game, May plays well. See, that's what I'm feeling, too. In my 60-second picks that will be out tomorrow, I chose the Rams, but I would not be surprised if the Patriots won this one. Michael says Rams. Luck Duck 1 says Rams. I would not be surprised. Look, this is if we have a few upset picks throughout the week, this one is included. I would definitely say that look out for the Patriots. Look out for the Patriots. Even though, what are the Patriots' record? Let's see. Patriots record. Oh God, they're 3-7. Yeah, I'm doubling down on it. I would say watch out for the Patriots. Watch out for the Patriots. But I'll lean towards the Rams. Next up, we got the Jameis Winston revenge game. The Cleveland Browns versus the New Orleans Saints. This one might be a fun one. Now, the Saints are favored by 1.5 points. And if we're talking about records, the Saints are 3-7, just fired their head coach. The Browns are 2-7. They should have fired their head coach. This one's going to be interesting. This one's in New Orleans, but I would love a shootout here. Like, I would not be surprised if we saw fireworks in this one. Alex says Saints. Yeah, I mean, I could see it. Derek Carr's back. Blitz says Saints are them, but I got them. Interesting comment. Joe's going with the Saints. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns on this. I mean, this is like bottom of the barrel. So let's not spend too much time on this. This is the toilet bowl right here. I don't like Panthers and Giants is a better matchup than this. And Giants and Panthers was actually a pretty good game. I mean, obviously it went into overtime. I'm expecting shootout on this one. Colt, it says Browns 33-26, Jameis legacy game. Yeah. So Colt and I are seeing the same thing here. We're feeling the same thing here. I'm thinking 37-34 Browns. I think this might be fun to watch in the early slate. Next up, speaking of fun, this won't be fun. It's the Colts and the Jets. What's going on in New York? Chat, tell me. If you could tell me in one, just pick one thing. What's wrong with the Jets? Tell me. Let's talk about this. What is wrong with the New York Jets? The New York Jets have got a lot of talent, but they are 3-7. And when you talk about that AFC East, man, like the Bills are running away with that. The Bills are 8-2. And you have a 3-way tie between the Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots because they all have 3 wins. Goodness gracious. Now, the Jets are 3-7. They're 1-5 on the road. They're 2-2 at home. So this is a home game. Jets do play. I mean, it is night and day difference. They look better at home. On the other hand, the Colts, 4-6, but they are on a 3-game losing streak. And when they go on the road, they are 1-4. Point spread does have the New York Jets as 3.5-point favorites. Now, if the Jets want anything, I mean, just anything to do with the playoffs, they got to win this game. They have to win this game at home. Oscar says, I got the Colts winning. AR going to dominate. Yes, Anthony Richardson is back in the lineup. Blitz says Colts. Alex says Jets. Blitz is going to say it's coaching. Yeah, it's a lot of coaching. They just haven't nailed it with a coaching staff since Rex Ryan. Oscar says it's got to be coaching. Cowboy Noah says everything. You're not wrong. It is everything. Kind of like the Cowboys. Blitz says, do the Giants and Panthers have a bye week? Giants definitely do. Yes, the Panthers do as well. Yes. I'm going to go with the Jets here. Like, the Jets got to win this. Anthony Richardson, for me, would have to have a really standout game for the Colts to win this one. That's my opinion. That's how I see this game going down. Alex says, this Jets team, you can't be trusted. Yeah, you can't trust them. Oscar says, I think Kyle will be a better coach for the Jets. Shout out to you, Oscar. Appreciate you. I think the Jets win this one. And I think they win it. It could be a field goal. Because the Jets are just like that, man. They like to make things interesting. They're like the Cowboys. They love to make things interesting when they shouldn't be. So, okay. Now we move on to some better games, which I'm super excited to start talking about. All those early games, except Thursday Night Football, they're kind of meh. But here we go. This one's a good one. This is the best game out of the early slate. You got the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Woo, baby. This is November football right here. This is November football here. Steelers are at the top of the division. They're 7-2. The Ravens are 7-3. Steelers on a 4-game winning streak. Ravens are on a 2-game winning streak. This game is going to be played in Pittsburgh, which the Steelers are 3-1. You want to guess who that one loss is to at home? Yeah, you best. That's Dak Prescott and Jalen Tolbert for you. Now, the Ravens are 3-2 on the road. If we look at the point spread, the Baltimore Ravens are favored by a field goal. This one's split. This is Russell Wilson versus Lamar Jackson. I just hope it's not a blowout. And if there is going to be a team that was going to blow out the other team, it's going to be the Ravens manhandling the Steelers. But I love it. Chat's going live on this one. Oscar says Lamar tends to struggle against the Steelers. Great point out. Yes. Alex says Steelers. Luck Duck 1 says Ravens. Michael says Steelers. Tristan says Ravens lose. Oscar says, I don't know why, but I'm still rocking with the MVP. We're pretty split in the chat. Colt says Ravens, 28-18. Low-scoring affair. Joe's going with the Ravens. Blitz is, I could be better than Mike McCarthy. He's soft like mashed potatoes. LOL, I'm way harder. Pause. Colt says Ravens will dominate. Oscar says Edgar Allan Poe versus Steel City. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Ravens. The Ravens have got it clicking. I've seen their defense be able to play, and Lamar's Lamar, man. For some reason, I'm watching a lot more Ravens games this year, and, I could see it. I understand it. Why Lamar is MVP. Because he makes crazy plays happen. He's ridiculous. He is absolutely ridiculous. So I'm going to go with the Ravens here. Next up, we got a semi-decent game. This could be a good game. You got the Atlanta Falcons versus the Denver Broncos. Now, the Atlanta Falcons, if we look at their record, they are 6-4 at the top of the NFC South. And then if we look at the Broncos, obviously, heartbreaker, they're 5-5. 2-game losing streak. And they're meeting up with the Falcons, who just recently lost their game. Now, this is in Denver. I don't think the Falcons are, things get cozy in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I don't know if the Falcons can travel well. And to tell you, the Broncos are 2.5-point favorites. Vegas is telling you that the Broncos playing at home matters. Joe says Broncos, Alex Broncos, Luck Duck 1 says Falcons, Oscar says Broncos, Joe says Broncos bouncing back. I honestly can't remember what I said in my 60-second video because I recorded that last night. But I like the Broncos in this one. just because they're at home. And I think, yeah, look at Chad is blowing up. Everyone's saying Denver, 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 Denver Broncos. Yes, sir, Oscar. Let's ride. Broncos country. Let's ride, baby. Bo Nix, Sean Payton, Patrick Surtain. Michael says Falcons, everyone picking Broncos. Yeah. This one could be a fun one. I would say like this would be a low-scoring game, though. Like 2017 Broncos. Blitz says, Kyle, who's the best coach in your opinion in history and now? Best coach of all time? If we're talking about the NFL, I mean, realistically, like it has to be Bill Belichick. I know there's a lot of coaches on that list. I mean, Don Shula, Vince Lombardi, Tom Landry. But Bill Belichick has been able to win in different decades. So I would say Bill Belichick. Best head coach right now? That's a tough one. I mean, it's got to be Andy Reid. Andy Reid could win you, he can win you a football game with Patrick Mahomes and like high schoolers as wide receivers. His ability to like understand scheme and how to get the best out of his players is ridiculous. Like if there's a player on the Chiefs roster offensively, like Andy Reid saw something in you to use you, and those are the two that I would say. Oscar says, remember the Cowboys-Broncos game in 2021? I do. I do. Sheena says, Eagles not good. What? LOL. They're not good. I mean, what else you want me to say? They're not good. Next up, we got an NFC West showdown here. We got the Seattle Seahawks versus the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers are favorites, 6.5-point favorites, and that sounds about right. I mean, realistically, because they played already, no Christian McCaffrey, and the 49ers beat them. I think it was by like 8 points, too. Like, it was pretty decisive. That game was never close. This one should be pretty. And now the 49ers are going to get on a run here. They got everyone back. They're healthy. Now they're going to build that chemistry. They're going to sweep the Seahawks here and get some wins. And the chat's agreeing here. Alex going with the 49ers. Luck Duck One's going with the Niners. Joe says they always dominate Geno Smith. Yeah, Geno Smith, man, he has his moments, but he's definitely not. I wouldn't say he's not a top 15 quarterback. 49ers 40-38. Michael says, what's wrong with Seattle? Why are they losing? I'm going to be honest. I haven't watched a lot of games for the Seahawks, just kind of the ones that have been prime time. I think most notably is like Geno Smith. He's inconsistent. He's, in my opinion, he's the kind of quarterback that you can't put everything on, because if you do, it's going to bend and break. Geno Smith, like, there has to be a specific system around him to help him, run game, tight end, wide receiver core. And that's kind of just the same thing with every quarterback. But I've seen when, like, Geno Smith hasn't played well. Like, there's been some really bad plays that he's made. And let's take a look at the NFC West. The NFC West is pretty competitive right now. The Seahawks are at the bottom. They're tied with the Rams at 4-5, but then you got the 49ers at 5-4 and the Cardinals at 6-4. Put it in the chat, guys. Who wins the NFC West? Because the Cardinals are holding on to that number one spot right now. Oscar says, by the way, Joe is my twin brother, Kyle. We both watching the stream. Let's go, baby. We got twin brothers watching the stream? Let's go. Shout out to Joe and Oscar. Alex says Seahawks went 3-0 and now 4-5. Yeah, the Seahawks do that, man. That would be crazy if the Cardinals won the NFC West. That really would be. But I think, it's only halfway through the season, so I would not be surprised if we saw the Cardinals lose a few games and the 49ers get hot and reclaim the division. That's my guess. Noah says Cardinals win. Alex says 49ers definitely. I'm going to go with the 49ers. All right, guys, let's talk about some real football here. This is the matchup. Oh, boy, man. Like, if you're not watching this, I question your fandom for football as a whole. You got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. You got Mahomes versus Josh Allen. This is in Buffalo. Now, they did play in Buffalo for the playoffs. And the Chiefs, man, they beat them. It was close, but they beat them. Whew. Colt says, talking about brothers, remember when your brother was on last week trying to get you in trouble talking about the election? Yes. Blitz says, Kyle, who do you think is better, Cowboys or Panthers? Honestly, I might just say the Panthers. They got a better quarterback, number 1 overall pick with Bryce Young. But chat's already blowing up here. Oscar says, Bills got to beat the Chiefs. Blitz is going with the Chiefs. Colt's going with the Chiefs. Noah's going with the Bills blowout. Michael says, Buffalo Bills. Luck Duck 1 says, Bills. Look, last time I was in this situation, I've learned to never count out Patrick Mahomes. I've learned that anytime I think about it and I look at it realistically and I'm like, yeah, the Bills are the better team, or the 49ers are definitely the better team in the Super Bowl matchup. They should beat the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are going to lose. And Patrick freaking Mahomes happens every single time. I've never seen a player like that in my lifetime that, like, he makes that much of a difference. Like that 49ers game, like, the 49ers should have won that. But Patrick freaking Mahomes. Look at me. I'm sounding like Chris Collinsworth right now. I'm sounding like a combination between Chris Collinsworth and Tony Romo. It is insane what Patrick Mahomes is able to do. So therefore, I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills because I know if I say the Chiefs, they don't want me on their side picking them. So I'm going to use some reverse psychology and say the Bills will win this game. You catching my wink here? Bills will win this game. But we all know who's really going to win this game. That's all I got to say about it. I don't want to jinx the Chiefs. I'm not going to do that. So, Bills win. But we know who actually wins. Luck Duck 1 says, glazing Mahomes too much. You know, it is what it is. Now, here's a guy. Tristan says, I'm not even a Chiefs hater. That's why I'm not rooting against them. But they never to have a loss. Yeah, I agree. All right. So Monday, it's such a shame too. Like, why is that the afternoon game? That should be Sunday Night Football. Regardless, I think we have a pretty good matchup here. Cincinnati Bengals and the Los Angeles Chargers. If we look at the standings here, Bengals are 4-6. They lost a tough one against the Ravens. And if we look at the Chargers, they're 6-3. I mean, the Chargers, we talked about this last week, but the Chargers are flying on the radar. They have a good record. But you got the Bengals. And let's talk about this for a little bit. How disgusting was it that Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow went absolutely nuclear and they still ended up losing to the Ravens? I mean, it's the right decision at the end of the game for Zach Taylor to go for 2. Like, I'm all for that. Like, that is a great choice. But it just sucks seeing great games like that from 2 great players going to waste. It's tough, man. It's tough. Blitz says, Kyle, do you think the Chiefs have bandwagon fans and fake fans? I don't think so. I think Kansas City is like true and blue, you know? I think you have the case where there's like fans who didn't watch them for a long time because they maybe weren't that good. And now they're jumping on board and they're like, oh yeah. I'm a Chiefs fan. I think you get a lot of that. But here on this Sunday Night Football matchup, I think it might be good. I think this is going to be a good matchup. I like this matchup. I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals. I think the Bengals get a win because they need to get a win. They need to start winning. And it's not going to be easy, but they need to start winning games. I'm holding out for the Bengals. Alex is saying the Chargers, of course. We know Alex likes the Cowboys and the Chargers. Oscar says Cincinnati. Colt says Bengals. Blitz says Bengals. Noah asks, what's the point spread? That's a great question, Noah. It's a close one. It's got the Chargers by 1.5 points. So the spread's not helping anyone. Luck Duck 1 says the Tony Tigers. Michael says the Bengals. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bengals here. Yeah, I like the Bengals here. I'm going to say Bengals 30-20. I think we're all in agreement, right? Bengals win. Sunday Night Football. All right, here we go, boys. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Monday Night Football. First one of the year. We play another Monday night game, and it's against the Cincinnati Bengals here in a few weeks. But you got the Dallas Cowboys versus the Houston Texans. Oh, boy. Here we go. Let me just get this off my chest. I think this is going to be a close game. Oscar says, when is D-Law, Deron Bland, Brandon Cooks coming back? I really don't know, to be honest. I think both of them are on IR, so I don't know if they're going to make it back for this game, but maybe next game. Because the next game, I believe, is the Commanders. Oh, God. Yeah, Cowboys and Commanders is coming up. Oh, gosh. Joe says the Battle of Texas. Yes, sir. It's a rivalry in Texas. Colt says Texans 26-12. Oscar says Houston Cowboys versus the Dallas Texans. Tristan says, I'm not even excited for Cowboys games now because we aren't going anywhere. Yeah. Luck Duck 1 says Texans kill. On the field and off the field. You're right. Yeah. Look. I know it is very hard to see it right now. I'm not going to say we're going to win this game. We're not going to win this game. Let's just get out of the way. So I'm not going to pump you up here. I think it's going to be a close game. I think this defense is going to play lights out. I think Micah Parsons is going to have a heck of a game. He's going to look really good. And this defense is going to look really good. But this offense is so bad, so horrible, just because so many reasons. Just because we got Cooper Rush back there. Just because we have no talent outside of CeeDee Lamb. And because we have the most boring play caller in the National Football League. So the offense is going to suck. The defense, however, they're going to give us a chance. Oscar says we could have witnessed Diggs versus Diggs. I know, man. We miss it every single time. I just don't think we're going to get it. I don't think we're going to get it, unfortunately. Oscar says, here are my defensive predictions. Give it to us. Joe says, imagine the Cowboys just blow out the Texans. It's just, I can't even, no. That would be wild, yes. But that is so out of the realm of possibility. Oscar says 3 sacks on C.J. Stroud, probably 1 forced fumble. Luck Duck 1 says maybe Cowboys have a chance with no sun. Put it in the chat, guys. Do you want Cooper Rush or Trey Lance at this point? Let me get a temperature of the room here. Because I'll tell you, I want Trey Lance. Season's over. Let's throw in the young guy. He adds a dual threat, being able to run the ball and pass the ball. Let's just do it, Season's over. Especially if we lose this game, because then we would be 3-7. We've seen teams come back from 3-6. 3-7, I mean, you got to win all your games, and you need some help. Noah says, how is Mike not fired after last week's game? I know, man. Blitz says, who do you think is our best defensive player? Hands down, the best player on defense has been DeMarvion Overshown. And I'm not saying Micah, obviously, because he's been out for 4 weeks. Colt is saying Trey Lance, Mike sucks. Oscar says DeMarvion Overshown strip sacking CJ, calling it now. I could see it, man. Joe says, this is good thinking from Joe. Joe says if the Jets can beat them, maybe the Cowboys can. You're not wrong. But the Jets have so much, they're so talented. They're just lacking coaching and organization. They're so much more talented than the Cowboys. But I see you. I understand you. Luck Duck 1 says, give Lance a chance. That's all we're saying. Tristan says, I was one of the few that was excited for Cooper Rush, but clearly seeing that Eagles game, Dak is clearly not the main problem. Yeah, man. We got bigger issues. And, of course, pregame prediction video is going to be dropping. I talk about it for 20 minutes. I talk about this game in depth, and you get a lot of my thoughts about it. So that'll be out soon. Blitz says, how does Mike McCarthy not realize that Zeke is washed? Ah, gosh. Oscar says, remember the game-winning drive against the Texans in 2023 or 2022. Yes, very exciting, but it should not have come down to that. But there we go. There's our picks. Oh, Texans win. Like I said, it's going to be a close game. I'm going to say Texans 23-17. It's going to be close. 23-17. But hopefully we can, well, let me go back to this. Because hopefully we can get to that 100 mark. 100 mark. Because I'm at 92 wins. So hopefully we can get to 100. Oscar says, Kyle, I think I seen you at Walmart the other day. Oscar, do you live in Arkansas? Because if you don't, then that probably wasn't me. Tristan says, I hope it's a close game, but I won't be surprised if we get blown out and CJ Stroud has a bounce back game. What do we always say on this channel? We say when you're in a slump, when you're on a losing streak, when you're not feeling like yourself, what do? Come play the Dallas Cowboys. They'll get you right back on track. And that's what I fully expect. The Houston Texans are on a 2-game losing streak. Cowboys are going to help them out. They're going to bounce back. Joe says, who we face after the Texans? It's the Washington freaking Commanders. And then we got Thanksgiving against the New York Giants. Here we go. Michael says, are you nervous about Arkansas versus Texas Longhorns? Not really. I think the Longhorns are going to smack the Razorbacks. And fun fact, I'm actually going to be at the game on Saturday. My father-in-law and I are going to be going to the game. And we bought our tickets back a while ago. Shout out to my coworker for selling me his season tickets. So, yeah, I'll be there. Hopefully it's a competitive game. Last time I went to a Razorbacks game, they beat Tennessee. And Tennessee was ranked top 10. So, am I the good luck charm? We shall see. But, yeah. But other than that, guys, that is it for our live show tonight, Week 11. Of course, stay tuned, like, and subscribe for the pregame prediction video and the Madden prediction video. And, of course, follow me on Twitter or X, TikTok, Instagram. Oscar says, you ever been to Port Arthur, Texas? No, I haven't. I have not. Now that you mentioned it, I should. But, yeah, I'll see you guys Monday after the game for our post-game reaction video. But I appreciate you guys. Love hanging out with you guys every Wednesday. I'll see you next week. Go Cowboys!